Well, when he first met Lord Dunsany back in 1912, Lord Dunsany did a lot to actually introduce him into a circle of writers, including W.B. Yeats, Catherine Tynan, and of course Thomas MacDonagh, who later would be the subject of the great elegy that Ledwidge wrote. So when Ledwidge learned of the 1916 Rising, he was in Manchester on his way back to Ireland, and he was greatly affected by that event. And in many ways, it crystallised his disillusionment with the war that he already held at that point. But he was very distressed over the death of MacDonagh and other people, associates and friends that he knew that were involved. And he felt that in some ways he had made the wrong decision in 1914 when he signed up. Because many of his friends obviously had discouraged him from enlisting, and clearly in the years following there had been a great intensification of nationalist feeling leading to the Rising, and so he felt in some ways that he had been alienated from that development, which in some ways was his natural feeling, was what he had always espoused. He returned to Ireland in 1916 on leave, but he extended his leave without permission. And in fact, when he returned to the front, he was court-martialed, both for extending his leave and also for speaking in favour of the 1916 Rising. So it's clear that he was both vocal and heartfelt in his support for the Rising at that stage. That was the only poem that he wrote that was very much dwelling on those circumstances. But the intensification of his attachment to Ireland and the idea of Ireland as an idealised place, it definitely develops further from that point on. And we can also see, perhaps obliquely, in some later poems he wrote, particularly one to his mother, where he reflects on the sacrifices of his mother. Obviously that dwells very much on his childhood years, but it also, I think, obliquely refers to the idea of sacrifice for a larger cause. But he often chooses sort of personal relationships or family settings to articulate that feeling.